Hello, my fellow warriors of light. Welcome to yet another current energy update for February 3rd, 2021. This will be the third report. The name of this report is We're No Longer Tourists. Let's Get to Work. So let's talk a little bit about that. Now, for the last couple of days, I've been wanting to make this video for 2 or 3 days, but I've been in it, been feeling it. Been definitely going through a lot of introspection. I've been going through a lot of purging and processing emotions. It is a Mercury retrograde, which means that we're always going to go within ourselves. So if you've been noticing yourself not talking as much, more inside your head, maybe not even having any thoughts at times, it's most likely because it's that part of the year. It's a retrograde season, and now we're actually kind of doing some cleanup, right? We're doing some winter cleanup before the spring comes and opportunities start to open up, because it's still winter time. It's still the dark winter, right? And a lot of us are feeling it. A lot of us are feeling it's been over a year now with this whole freaking COVID stuff. It's been just nonstop pandemic, lockdowns, masks, mandates, vaccines, like it constantly being inundated in it. You know what I mean? We're constantly being inundated in it. And I'm exhausted. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm really looking forward to having some semblance of normalcy return to our lives. I'm not saying this is the new normal. I'm not saying we're going back to anything, but what I am saying is that in the next couple months, we will start to see a lot more states here in the United States and a lot more countries across the world are just going to be done with it. And as you're seeing on the news, it's pretty much over anyway. You have the CDC coming out or the WHO, I think it's the WHO that's coming out and changing its cycle rates on the PCR tests from 40 to 20. And all of a sudden that's going to, cure the virus. I've been reading all of these people's reviews of getting the VACCINE, their first and second trials, and the adverse reactions. I mean, they're having like a 15 or 20% reaction on that. And so I'm just sitting here, and of course I'm reading the news, and I'm in the propaganda. I call it all propaganda because anything that manipulates us emotionally is propaganda. And I'm reading this stuff, and it does affect me. And I sometimes ask myself, why are we constantly wanting to consume this stuff that takes us out of alignment? And what came to me yesterday was that it's time, once again, just like it was this summer and just like it is now, it's time once again to consume it, to transmute it, so that we can bring it into the 100th monkey effect within our consciousness, and we can let it go, and also bring it into the mainstream thought process that this is the reality of our world, this is what's happening, and this is how we're changing. So what do I mean by not being a tourist anymore? Is it's time for us to truly start to do stuff. I'm not saying protest and all that crazy stuff. I mean, if that's what you want to do, then we could do that as well. But I'm talking more so along the lines of, we've been in a cocoon now for a year, right? We've been in our safe haven. We've been hibernating, emotionally speaking, energetically speaking. We've been healing. We've been discovering. We've been remembering. And now is an opportunity for us to move forth and begin sowing the seeds for the spring and summer harvest, which means that we're no longer just going to sit on our phones all day, on our computers all day, watching, the TV all day, judging, opining, expecting, and all those things. It's time for us to do the right work at the right time, not only within us, but from without our lives, including planting the seeds for tomorrow so that we have a beautiful harvest come the next couple months. And this could be anything like picking up a new hobby. This could be something like starting your own YouTube channel, starting a podcast, learning how to garden, starting a new job, right? Or a new career or a new business. But the time to sit around watching other people live their lives, that time is quickly coming to an end, and it is time for us to stop being the tourists that we've been our whole lives, because we've been waiting for a time like this for us to be the ones to stand up, to speak out, to lead. And that's where we're at. And that's why this current energy update, this current energy report is referred to as us no longer being tourists, because in reality we really aren't. And especially with all this content that's coming out and all the D-class and all this stuff that I know, the human drama that we're so into, I mean, consume it, transmute it, be the warrior of light that you are, but also realize that we've seen that stuff already. We know about all of it. And if we choose to, we don't have to consume it anymore, because we've put our eyes on it, we've put our consciousness on it, we know that it's there. And that was 6 months ago. I mean, stay informed. Obviously, if you've been following it as long as I have, 10, 12 years, you kind of want to know what's going on and what's going down. But it really shouldn't be your main focus anymore, because you already have all the answers in that department. It's kind of like taking, it's like taking a freshman college course over again. You know what I'm saying? This is an act for the normies who are waking up. This is a time for those people who have chose to stay sleeping, who just can't stay sleeping anymore. This is why it's coming out the way it's coming out, and in the veracity that it's coming out, and why it's so intense, and why it affects us so much, and why we're feeling it in the collective in terms of the energy, is because it has to be like that right now, because it's happening in a more exponential time frame. But that's not for us. What's for us is to be setting up the programs, setting up the institutions, setting up the resources, starting the businesses, starting the groups, starting the meetups, having the events, doing the interviews, having the conversations, building the YouTube channel, starting our news sources, doing those types of things. That's the time now, is for action. It's to no longer be a tourist watching and waiting for our time. It's to see that it is our time. It has now been our time, and it is now time for us to stand up and start doing for the collective, for our purpose and our destiny, and to move forward with love and light, tranquility and peace, and be the beacons of that change, be the beacons of what it is to be a warrior of light on this planet, to be a master incarnate on this planet, remembering who we are as the eternal fractals of God that we are, co-creating this beautiful experience, and no longer being victims to what other people do, or to what other people say, or to the content, or to the television, or to the Black Mirror, and to be the ones demonstrating, being demonstrable in our light, that if you set your mind to anything in this life, that you can create it, you can attain it, you can obtain it, and you can become it. So I just want to jump on real quick and talk about not being a tourist anymore. Let's become citizens again. Let's become citizens of this new earth. Let's become citizens of the 5D earth, of this higher consciousness. Be ambassadors of the 5D consciousness, and demonstrate to those who are just now awakening that, yeah, it's scary, it's intense, it's difficult, it's challenging, but if you go through this dark night of your soul, this dark winter of your soul, on the other side is nothing but abundance and beauty. So I hope you gained a little bit of clarity on your path today. I hope you got a little bit further on your journey, and I hope you can bring in a little bit more love into your heart, so that you can see that this is the time you've been waiting for your entire life, and all lifetimes before this one. This is the time, and you are ready. So leap, and I'll be there with you, waiting to catch you if you fall. So have a wonderful day, an even better evening, and I will see you all some other time. Take care, and goodbye.